say, I like to tease you. I like to play in my way, but when you say, get on the bed, I lose my cool and I get in my head. I'm a stone cold top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, she's a top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, I'm a stone cold top. I know everything, I know everything. I feel some energy from you like no one ever. I like to act it, so sassy, but it's out of lie. Because I know deep down I'm a bottom inside. I'm a bottom inside. I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry. I'm not a furry. I'm a stone cold top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, she's a top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, I'm a stone cold top. I know everything, I know everything. I feel some energy from you like no one ever. I'm innocent, I'm a top. I'm not a furry, but deep down I know bottom inside. I'm a stone cold top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, she's a top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, I'm a stone cold top. I know everything, I know everything. I feel top energy from you, said no one ever. I'm a Catholic, she's a Catholic. I can never do wrong. I'm so innocent, this is my song. But when I'm flirting, when she's flirting, I'm a stone cold top. What do you mean? I'm so innocent for this. I'm a stone cold top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, she's a top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, I'm a stone cold top. I know everything, I know everything. I feel some energy from you like no one ever. I'm a stone cold top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, she's a top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, I'm a stone cold top. I know everything, I know everything. I feel top energy from you, said no one ever. I like to act confident, like I know what to say. I like to tease you, I like to play in my way. But when you say, get on the bed, I lose my cool and I get in my head. I'm a stone cold top, she's a stone cold top. I'm a top, she's a top, she's a stone
Hello, hello. Welcome on in, everyone. Hi, B. Hi, Christian. Hi, Iris. It's so lovely to see you. How have you all been? How is this fine Thursday treating you? Makes muffled sounds. You are my mummy now. Kapow, bitch! Beautiful. You're feeling kapow, bitch? This is good. That's got some good energy. I'm just going to open up my Twitch activity feed. You might hear me in double again. Unless I manage to mute in time. I've decided to take control of when ads run on my writing streams because I've been noticing that it'll be the 25-minute sprint in silence, and then when I speak, an ad will run, and it really irritates me. So I'm taking a bit more control over it. They are supposed to auto-run. Running the 1 minute manually will remove the upcoming auto ad. That's cool, but I feel like maybe my ads are scheduled more frequently than they should be. Can I still say Happy New Year, or are we past that now? You can still say it! Happy New Year to you too, Christian. I love that emote. Good evening, Jinx. How you doing? Let's go, Peach. Let's go! Let me just make sure that the ads aren't being naughty. Welcome to the new ads manager. They updated the ads manager. Yes, I would like to run 3 minutes of ads per hour. Oh, I did have it set bad. I had it set wrong. Yeah. If you've been getting more frequent ads, I apologise. I try and run a longer ad. I try to run a 3-minute break every 60 minutes because it annoys me if there's ads that keep happening. You can have them set every 8 minutes, which is wild. Okay, there we go. That should fix it. Yeah, there we are. Give us all the ads, Newt, you're worth it. B, I'm honoured. I saw somebody, they do writing streams, I thought it was pretty cool. And she had a bill coming up, and she turned all her ads onto max, and she ran a rerun. And her community was just there watching the ads. And I thought that was the most wholesome thing ever. 3 minutes of ads every 8 minutes. That is the maximum you can set it to, Black Iris. Which, it's kind of like, what's the point? You're getting just as much ad as you are stream. I'd rather have no ads, if I'm honest. Is the camera good? Yes, we are good. Beautiful. And we should have some desktop audio coming through. I'm playing the Arcane playlist and hoping we don't get struck down by the copyright gods. Just because this is the only opportunity I'll really get on stream to play an Arcane playlist. Because today's prompt is to create an Arcane related story. Yes, you are beautiful. Aww. B. Alright, without further ado, let's get on to our little spidergram. So I could take this prompt 2 different ways. I could take it the TV show, which I wouldn't mind doing because I'd like to do a character analysis because I think their characters are brilliant and their character faults especially are brilliant. How do you write a character like Caitlyn where she's a perfectionist and everything she does is perfection, but she's also the most wrong in series 2? Explain to a noob what Arcane is. This is a great song to explain this to, because this is the song they have sex to. Arcane is a story that takes place between 2 women. It's a romance between them. One of them is from the Undercity, and one of them is from Piltover. Piltover is the next door neighbour of the Undercity, and Piltover dumps a bunch of toxic waste into the Undercity and the people living there. They don't treat them very well, so there's a lot of animosity between them. Culturally. And there's a character called Jinx, who is the woman from the Undercity's younger sister, who decides to bomb Piltover. That's series 1. Basically magic. Yes, Arcane means magic. B with the 3 stream streak, let's go. Thank you for streaking, I really love the view. And second of all, 3 streams is amazing, thank you so much. Like a vampire, my how many 3 stream streak, we lost count at this point. Amazing series that I am still to watch, forgive me. Jinx, it's so good. Watch tonight, start it tonight. Never mind, I was thinking of another Arcane, that's fair. It's a darker version of Overwatch and Fortnite. It's a high class versus lower class sort of thing. Exactly. And it's an interpersonal conflict, and then the second series brings it into a bit more of a magical conflict where the Piltover and the Undercity have to battle a bigger threat. A threat that's bigger than both of them and their petty squabbles. And there's a character called Victor who's using the Arcane to try and improve humanity as a whole. But in doing so, he is wiping their individuality. I hate both those games. I would highly recommend the Arcane TV show. It's really good. Last the hell out of my current project. Do it! I'm lurking while grabbing a shower and dodging lightning. Dodging lightning? Why are you dodging lightning? Did you pick a fight with Zeus? Alright, arcane means... Oh wow! Arcane means understood by few, mysterious or secret. So separate from the TV show. Arcane the word means... understood by few. Mysterious or secret. comes from arca, meaning chest. Comes from arcia, which means to shut up. To arcanus, to arcane. Like a shut chest? I didn't think it meant that. I thought it meant magic. Arcane as a word just means poorly understood / mysterious, often ancient, so it gets thrown around with meaning magic a lot. Okay. So it has a connotation with magic, but it's not necessarily meaning magic. So I guess the magical aspect comes from the fact that people wouldn't understand it. Zeus would be so lucky to zap this fine airs. Yeah, he would. Never shower when there's a thunderstorm outside. I just did today. Is that a bad thing? Arcane in the story describes the ancient ways. Yes, exactly. In the TV show, they take the root of runes. Runes and parallel universes. You want to be electrocuted? Yes. Okay, never mind. I will never do that again. I do not want to be electrocuted. So, create an arcane-related story. I don't think that I'll go into the TV show universe, but I will take... There's two things I could do today. There's a character analysis of the characters in Arcane. Because I think they're so well written. They did characters really well, and turning them into complex characters as well. That the things that they value, they establish what the character values in series 1, and then they subvert that expectation in series 2, and then they come back to who they were at the end, but somehow it feels like a progression. You know? And that's really hard to write. The other one is to write... Write an arcane-related fiction not to do with the TV show. Now, I have a... You know the Wolf Project? Something that I've been working on separate to stream and separate to this community and separate to Discord, because I want to keep it private for now. There is an entire magical system that I need to write about that, and I want it to be as scientific as possible. And I want it to be to do with atoms. So maybe I could do some atom research today and figure out how they work. Because I'm thinking of including atoms and a degree of radioactivity to these perceived as magical beings. So there's that. There's a character analysis. There's my own personal research into that. What else does Arcane scream to you? Let's see what images come up in my head when I think of Arcane. I think magic. I think runes. I think ancient puzzles. I think old loot chests. Old books. Maybe some sort of hidden library. Lost knowledge. And then, obviously, with lost knowledge and hidden library, you've got to put in Alexandria. Is it the Library of Alexandria? Lost things. Atlantis. I'd put that in runes and ancient puzzles. Lost culture. Lost skills. I'm gonna put lost bio abilities because I kind of like... I like the thought of humans being more capable of something than they think they are, but that knowledge being lost. There's room for a story there. Like in Aggie and I that I've been writing, there's that knowledge of dragons, dragon riders, or dragon, what do you call them, dragon bonded, that has been lost, but that has also been gate kept, and that has been turned into a scientific exploration rather than an ancient arcane secret. There's also something about magic and runes that's a little bit... How do I describe it? When something is not... When something's tricky, where it's not necessarily outwardly frightening, but if you mess with it, it could backfire. Taboo? Taboo? Hey Goose, how you doing? Welcome on in, Goose. This is what we do on our writing club days on a Thursday. We start our prompt of the month off with a spidergram. Our prompt of the month is to write an arcane related story. Jeremy, my favourite woman, my favourite rat. Hi. And we're going through all the different meanings of arcane. Obviously, we have the TV show, but we're going through all the different things. So if you have ideas, feel free to jot them into chat. And then from this, we create some sort of story. I've got a few ideas of what I could do up here as well. In the character analysis of arcane characters, I'm actually going to put emotions wheel. If you guys haven't looked at the emotions wheel, I would highly recommend it. If you're bad like me at writing characters' emotions in response... If you're bad at writing complex emotions, I'm really bad at it. I'm bad at reading complex emotions in people. There's a emotions wheel. Let me find it for you. Where like things like anger can be presented as disgust. Things like anger can be presented as passiveness. And it helps you write more complex characters. Feelings wheel. I'll be honest, I was introduced to this during therapy because I couldn't figure out how I was feeling. I'm not autistic. Something in the same genre? Exactly. My ideas of Goose. Goose. That is such a read. Girls, same. When feelings have feelings? Yes, yes. Let me show you. Let me show you. This is what it looks like. It looks terribly complicated. I would recommend having a copy of this when you're trying to write... Sorry, let me really zoom in. When you're trying to write a character having complex emotions, instead of just being angry, they might be skeptical, dismissive, withdrawn, annoyed, infuriated, hostile, provoked. It gives you a whole different view of how they might be acting. Instead of just representing something like anger as shouty and shouty and indignant, it's more than that. You can also go numb. You can also be distant. This is the wheel I use when I'm trying to write a character reacting to something. And the way that they react isn't... Like, it can't just be, I'm upset, therefore I'm sad. It's got to be more than that, otherwise they feel very two-dimensional. So I would recommend having this. And I thought about maybe applying this colour wheel to Vi and Caitlin through the series and seeing how the arcane writers have taken their emotions. It's pretty cool. Passive anger, disgust, angry, quiet, rage, disappointment, anger. Yes, exactly, exactly. One of us, one of us. Black Arrow is looking. Whoa, this is good, good. I'm thinking of maybe reverse engineering some of the arcane characters because they are so well written. What else does arcane bring to your mind? I'm gonna write sparks. And a bit sparks and then multicolored because there's something about that would be under magic for me, but there's something about it being exciting and explosive and it. Learning a lot for my English exam tomorrow. What are you doing? Is it English literature or language? I've got room for one more thing. What, when you think of arcane, what image does it bring to mind? And you can't say topless Vi. It's both together. Oh, that sucks. I'm so sorry. Well, I wish you the best of luck with it. I used to enjoy my English exams. Is that really bad? What a nerd. I'm gonna put transformation. I feel like arcane brings transformation. And whether that means the transformation from knowledge to loss, or whether that means like the transformation of... This song is playing and it's making me think of Victor when he absorbs the big wolf. What's his name? Shouldn't be forgetting the big wolf. Warwick. He absorbs Warwick. There's a transformation there. There's before the arcane and then there's after the arcane. Before knowledge and after knowledge. Quite like it, so it's good. I'm glad to hear that, Goose. I used to like mine. But I had the best English tutor. He was brilliant. He was from Tanzania. And he was also my tutor of my group. You know, you get split into groups in school. He was also the tutor of my group. Oh my god, he just made me want to be a writer. He was so cool. Just the way he encouraged everything, and he didn't write anything off. He steered you in good directions. Like, he was a very good teacher. We've written magical twice. Magical, taboo. Understood by few, mysterious or secret. Taboo. It's a big taboo here. Understood by few, mysterious or secret. What is understood by few in this day and age? Common sense. No. What is understood by a few people that a lot of people can't wrap their head around? Space. Which leads me to sci-fi. What is understood by few? I'm gonna put radiation. I know I got radiation on the brain today, but there's something very modern about radiation, and there's something about fusion and fission that is very magical, because you put in such little components and you harvest a huge amount of energy. Arcane brings like sci-fi vibes, I guess. Yes, exactly, Goose. It. Not IT, not this. I mean, I guess you're right. Complex computing. And then that leads me to AI. The big enemy of today. Well, the big enemy to me. Fuck AI. Hate AI. I wrote a story once that I called Cinder. And it was a Cinderella retelling. Where Cinderella... First of all, it was a queer Cinderella retelling. And I loved it. It was a really fun writing exercise. But I made Cinder, or Cinderella, a robot that had gained consciousness. Who falls in love with a mechanic who repairs her foot. And I really enjoyed that. I never ever dabble in stories like that, like AI. And it was a random prompt from Vocal. and it's probably my proudest achievement on there. I loved writing Cinder. Not AI. Ew, AI. Ugh, get away. Ew. Are they going to be the same characters, or are you going to create your own? This is what is up for debate right now. So this is a monthly prompt. I can do several things if I want to. It could be my own character in the Arcane universe. It could be a character analysis of those in the Arcane universe. It could be an analysis of Arcane itself. That's all to do with the TV show. Or it could be to do with Arcane as in the word arcane. All of this is to do with what the word arcane means. I thought it meant magical. But when you look it up on Google, it means understood by few, mysterious or secret. Which gives it a magical air, yes, but it doesn't necessarily mean magic, which is pointing me towards science. Science that's not understood yet, that looks like magic. And there's also something that I want to write to do with atoms in another story that I'm working on, so I may even do some research into atoms. The pastry product in the grocery store, fully automated bakeries. Yeah, if no man made the pastry, let machine eat it too. Not for me. Exactly, Black Iris. What about Arcane, but it starts like 50 years after the actual series, and you create a world around... Because I don't think that they would stay away from hex tech. It's too useful. And it could be like a parallel for climate change, or it could be a parallel for going too far with science, where people understand the consequences now, because they've seen what happens with Victor, but they mess with it anyway. I like that idea. Maybe Victor and Jace, because they've disappeared into the Arcane now, maybe they're forced back. That's a good idea, Goose. That's a fanfiction right there. Brian! Thank you for the 7 stream streak! Club stuffs? Yes, we doing the club stuffs. Hi, Brian. Also, Brian, I hope this has worked. I read and reviewed your poetry collection. First of all, thoroughly enjoyed. Beautiful. But when I left a review, I don't think I put my name on it. I think it just says customer. But that is from me. Yeah, well, yeah, Goose! You got a fanfiction right there. I know, I'll take a look. I don't know what happened. It's supposed to say that writer woman. But then when I got an email saying the review had been approved, I went to look at it and it just says customer. Hopefully my school asked these kind of questions in school instead of write a paragraph on why video games suck. I had the best teacher. This is separate to the other teacher. My English teachers in secondary school, on par, were brilliant. And there was one woman who said, write a story in the Hunger Games universe. And it was just, there was something about it because we'd all read Hunger Games, we were all excited about Hunger Games, and it was permission to write a fanfiction for school. And me and my friend wrote it from the perspective of the 2 tributes who went in together. And I recently found the file on my computer. I found it on a backup of a backup on a memory stick. I read it back. It's a decent fanfiction. I read it when I was 11. It's a decent fanfiction. Did you review it on Amazon or Goodreads or something? I reviewed it on Amazon, but I want to put a review on Goodreads and a review on Vocal as well after the fact. But I have not linked my Goodreads to my Amazon yet. Right? That's a good teacher. Because the teacher thought, what is exciting and pertinent in these young people's lives? What is the piece of media and also literary media that they are consuming? And it was the Hunger Games. And she took that and she made it into a really good prompt. It was so good. Don't think that it's on Vocal. I don't even know what that is. That's okay. It's a place where you can put short stories and things, but you can also put like blog posts. I was going to put a review on there. You were born a writer. I will blush, Black Iris. I will get bashful. I will get bashful. I just couldn't believe I wrote that when I was 11. Because I had a definite skill loss when I turned 13 because I got very ill. And I just couldn't believe I'd written that. And I backed it up, and I couldn't believe that I'd found it either. I came out pen in hand, first fanfic already written up. I also made a fanfic. I wonder if it's still up. I wrote a fanfiction. This was when I was 9. Fanfiction.net. That's how old it is. It's on the .net. It's not even on Archive of Our Own. Site can't be reached. Is it down? Is fanfiction.net gone? I copy-pasted it into my files. I still have it. We don't talk about the head non-fic, because that was the joke. But I did write a serious fanfiction. What happened to fanfiction.net? Why is it not... Oh, we'll see if it loads. Anyway, I wrote a serious Harry Potter fanfiction once, and that was, like, ridiculously long. I definitely wanted to be a writer when I was 11 to 12. When I was 13, I just wanted to be alive. What are the key themes of Arcane? Romance? I'm gonna write class difference. Queer, class difference, romance. I've got parallel universes, runes, technology. I'm gonna put class. I'm gonna write class because it is to do with class and house name. Government. Yeah, because it's to do with the Jace Tallis comes from a small house and he makes it a big house. Kiraman is a big house. And it is their family names that carry them into that class. What else is it about? Systemic injustice? I've just spelled corruptibility so wrong. That's moral corruptibility. What else is themes in Arcane? You put mental collapse, branch off of that and say illness. Because Jinx does have a mental collapse, but also there's Victor's illness as well, and how that influences him as a child. I wonder if someday I'll stumble upon the story I wrote in elementary school. That's the thing. I don't know what possessed me to put that story, that Hunger Games fanfiction that I wrote, I put it on a memory stick. I kept that memory stick for over 10 years. I then decided to back up all my memory sticks onto another stick and happened to find it in a mislabeled file. It was wild. It shouldn't have been there. I guess there's a theme of... I'm gonna put race. Because while it's not necessarily... It's not... There isn't racism in Arcane. But it is based off of a very real systemic issue. There are also different races in Arcane that aren't even explained. They're just drawn that way. Like, Seth is one of them. I think he's like an underwater guy. The bat... Is he supposed to be a bat or a rat? I'm not sure. But the bat guy that works with Echo and Heimerdinger. They're all different races. And while there isn't any specific racism in it, there is a lot of classism that reflects on real life racism. So I'm gonna write race. I want to go to 2016 where I used to write on literally every surface of my house, like the tables, chairs, and the walls. Haha, goose. Some stains didn't come out. I mean, as long as it isn't smut, you're good. When you said Jinx had a mental collapse for a second, I thought you were talking about me. I mean, you could if you wanted to, but I would recommend maybe not firing a rocket on the government. You're talking about yourself in the third person. Yes, aren't we all Jinx? Maybe the Jinxes were the friends we made along the way. Okay. What does this open up for me? I'm gonna write fanfiction. And then I'm gonna write characters or world. Because I could write a fanfiction based on the characters in the same world, or I could write a fanfiction based in the world with different characters. There's two choices there. Jinx my name, Jinx my nature. Jinx. I'm sure I have my first story saved somewhere. Even in elementary, intermediate school, I was in charge of backing up our old PC data to format it. Hey, Black Iris! You should have a comb through. I found it very interesting to look at my old projects. And to think that that was what was on my mind when I was 11. There are some serious themes in Hunger Games, and there are some serious themes that I wrote into the story. The fact that I was so aware of what the Hunger Games author was getting at with the anti-government rhetoric. I'm proud of little me. I was only 11. Arcane also reminds me of Savika. This is true. This is true. We like Savika. I would never read Savika fanfiction of an evening. That's not me. Okay, we have a room for a couple more branches here. What? So we've got the TV show, and we've got the actual definition of arcane, and then we have the images that the word arcane brings to mind. What else could we have here? Yes! Yes, Brian, that's me. Maybe I'll take a look around tomorrow. Do it! Do it, why not? Could be fun. What else do we have space for? Let me have a think. Part of me wants to expand on the space and the sci-fi bit. Because there is that depiction. You could have a depiction of aliens being either sort of regressive, and you have things like Avatar, where they're sort of hunter-gatherer type people. Or you could have that depiction of aliens where they're so advanced they're almost magical. And that would come under understood by few, mysterious or secret. There's something eerie about that. Sorry to derail your stream, but I sort of do want to know why you liked one or two of the ones you mentioned. I have it all written down on a piece of paper somewhere. I can send that to you, Brian. But the general consensus was that those stood out to me as ones that weren't only great metaphors, but they subverted the metaphor within themselves. They were also pertinent to me, personal to me, and resonated really well. Send me that paper. I'd love a detailed analysis. I'll have to find it, but I will, Brian. Got one more thing. And there's also... I'm going to write time travel. There's something about humans being so advanced and visiting themselves back, and then being so advanced that they can't even be understood. I'm thinking about, with Arcane, I'm thinking about Victor's ballet people. Arcane. Unpopular opinion, I hate time travel. I like it, and I like the fact that we can only go back but not forwards. That makes me happy. Reminds you of Hex Tech technology? Yes, I put technology up here. Where it was kind of like the evolution of technology and almost the humanization of it. The understanding of it as a science but then the wildness of it as something magical. And that made me think of radiation, because that's what we're trying to do with radiation. We're trying to tame it. It annoys me. I'm okay with time travel, and I'm okay with parallel universes. But they have to be done in the right way. It can't be egocentric, if that makes sense. Like, if somebody travels back in time just to tell someone that their wife is going to leave them or something, don't care. But it has to be bigger than that. It has to be that humanity travels back to itself to warn them that the aliens are going to get them. But then you find out that the aliens are actually a more advanced humanity or something like that. It's got to spin round in circles and be confusing. Time travel implies destiny and fixed events. Well, yes, because you can travel back, but from the perspective of where you've traveled back to, that is the future. Which I don't believe in, but that's fair enough. I don't like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Travel back in time, the future needs to change. Agreed, Black Iris. There has to be a purpose to it. It can't be spectacle and egocentric. It has to be that there's something that needs to be fixed, changed, maybe at the sacrifice, like the example I used, maybe at the sacrifice of future humans, future culture. I could see that being an enjoyable thing. Though I do like the Spider-Verse thing. That's kind of cool. I know that's not technically time travel, that's alternate universes, but the thought of teaming up with versions of yourself, it's pretty cool. It's hilarious that I've in fact enjoyed the Doctor Who stuff, but avoided it for so long because time travel. Doctor Who has a nice measurement, though, of not just time travel. Time travel isn't the main feature. There's also alien civilizations. There's also different planets. There's also different cultures. And I think people started to dislike it when Clara's story finished up. And that was that fixed fate sort of thing that people didn't like. Sometimes it's just wacky shenanigans. I loved Vastra and Jenny and Strax in Victorian London. Best storyline. Sucker. It might be that this is all I can draw from the word arcane. And that's okay, but I want to push for one more branch. Already dead inside. I liked Clara. I don't know why she got hated on. I didn't like Clara. I think that she was written in a way where she didn't understand what was going on, but she felt fully comfortable. And I think that broke some of the immersion for me. Like, she was happy and content when everything was going wrong. And I liked the arc when the Doctor changed and she had these conflicting feelings because she felt romantically attracted to the previous Doctor, but not the Peter Capaldi Doctor. And it was that reminder that underneath his skin, he's still the same guy. And she had that crisis then. I enjoyed that she actually had a crisis, because she was never having any crises. She was just happy. I watched all time travel stuff, but I avoided Doctor Who until I had no other time travel stuff to watch. Doctor Who is cool, though. It is cool. Didn't like Bill. She was boring. I loved Ruby Sunday and enjoyed Yaz. I stopped watching at Peter Capaldi, unfortunately, so I didn't know any of those. I think she was the most confident companion, but where is that confidence from? Because they tried to paint her. Clara was a school teacher, but she had confidence with time travel and different universes and different alien species, and she seemed fine with it all. And one of the things that people love about Donna is that she was so human and that she was so freaked out by all of it. And they tried to go the other way with Clara, but I think they went just a tad too far. For me, anyway. It's a personal preference. I'm sure many people enjoyed Clara. Which Clara is the real Clara, though? This is the good point. This is the good point. There's far too many of her. I like to think that the real Clara is the one stuck in the Dalek, which is pessimistic, I know. But there's something very poetic about it. About that episode of her being stuck in the Dalek. I love the idea of the Impossible Girl. Me too. I think that was well done. I'm gonna write the word artifact. Popping up through time and space, super interesting, right? I think her core trait, though, wherever she was that feeling of confidence and settledness. What else does arcane bring to mind? Let me look up the word arcane again. Oh, yeah, he mad. Specialized knowledge. Intricate magic systems, rules and regulations, knowledge and subjects, fantasy and gaming, arts and culture. I did think of Cthulhu. It's just thrown the Cthulhu mythos at me. Where it's like something so wild and out there that people can't really fathom it. So the reason I wrote space. You can't really... If you think about it too deeply, the less you comprehend it, because it's incomprehensibly big. So there's something about a fictional story with the discovery or comprehension of a lost piece of information, artifact, a book, whatever, and the ability to unlock something from it and harness it. Just like in Arcane, where they discover the crystals and turn that into hex tech. But in the way of actual storytelling. I didn't watch any of that, but I think that was a common complaint. People didn't like that it was a spectacle of acceptance. And I didn't like that either. You remember Vastra and Jenny kissing? And they made a huge deal about it. They're like, oh my god, they've had this lesbian kiss. And it's like, first of all, she's a giant lizard woman. Why is this hard? Why is it harder to comprehend a lesbian kiss when one of them's a giant lizard woman? You can comprehend the lizard woman, but not the kiss. And they had to make the kiss be a necessary thing. And it was a kiss where they shared oxygen because Jenny was running out. And I was like, could they not just peck each other on the lips? They're wives. And that became this huge spectacle. And that annoyed me. Because it was a spectacle, it implied that it wasn't normal. So they actually made it worse. If that makes sense. Window to modern issues without you noticing, sneaking in and making you think. Exactly. Unless you're 1984 and you're making it a whole point. You're really labouring the point. You're really hammering it home. When the goal is commentary, go for it. Absolutely. It's like, why do you care about this? Most of the characters are aliens. Exactly. It was really odd to me that it was like... And they made this huge, like, spinning camera moment, and they had this huge orchestral swell of music. And it's like, they're married. It's not their first kiss. And also, it's not a romantic kiss because they're sharing oxygen. They made it so much worse. They could have just had them have a peck. Or even have a properly romantic kiss if they were having a romantic moment, but they never wrote any of those in. But it felt really odd and out of place. Kissing a space lizard who could also quite easily kiss my ass. Yes, please. Vastra, take me! Vastra is somehow my type, and she is an alien. Okay, I'm stuck. I'm clearly stuck on this last point, but we have a month to fill this in, so that's fine. Let me think. Today, what am I going to work on today? I am gonna write. I'm gonna create. I'm going to create an artifact that has arcane properties. I have an idea for this. It's part of the Wolf Project, and it has to do with atoms. But I'm going to have to figure out how atoms work, and I'm going to have to figure out, like in Arcane, is it a crystal? Is it something from the future? Is it something from the past? Is it something radioactive? What's going on within it? I'm going to create an artifact to put in a story. That seems like a good place to start. Trying to include these good things to get in the way of storytelling and it becomes awkward. That's how I felt. It really felt awkward. And it was so laboured. And it was so... It was such a spectacle that they made a point of it being not normal. When the whole point of putting the lesbian kiss on TV was to normalise and include queer romance. But in doing it in that way, they actually made it more exclusionary. I don't know how they made it that bad. Feels like it doesn't belong there, regardless of whether we view the want progress or not. Exactly. I will say this word correctly. Superfluous. I tried. Alright, we are going to get into our sprints, I think. How are we doing for time? We're at 45 minutes into stream. That is pretty bang on target. So that's our spidergram. If you guys wanted to decide on what you're writing today, if you want to take this prompt, then go for it. If you want to work on your other projects, then go for it as well. If you have any questions, queries, cries for help through the writer's block haze, then please put those in chat as well. And if you want to refer back to this, I'll show it on screen for just a moment if you wanted to screenshot that. Those are some ideas. You can take it literally as the word arcane, or you can take it as the TV show Arcane. Superfluous. Superfluous? I swear we say superfluous here. But that's English being English. Prompt. I don't have a prompt command, but it's up in the... It's up there. Newt will discover the smaller parts of making the atom. Newt is the arcane. Well, I had this idea. It's a mix of sci-fi, and it's also set when the artifact is first discovered. It's discovered by a fleeing maiden in medieval times. So she's obviously not going to have a clue how this thing works. And it affects her atoms, and I want to figure out what would happen. Milady, did you spin the wheel without my knowledge? I did! I spun it yesterday! Right at the end of stream. Also, hi Lady Magora, Lady of the Wheel. Am I in trouble? I didn't look at that giant gold text. That's okay. That's okay. It's here. My wife! My wife! How could I not have known? You should have felt it in the ether. You should have felt it through your atoms. My hubby. Oh, how you doing, Lady Magora? How's things? We're just about to start our sprints. I think in... Let's go for 6 minutes. We'll start our sprints. Question is an arcane-related story to happen in modern day. The question is, can an arcane-related story happen in modern day? That's the sort of thing I was looking at, because arcane means understood by few, mysterious or secret. And I feel like we've discovered all we can on Earth. Unless you were to look at something maybe that was in the core of the Earth that we can't get to. But I was thinking sci-fi, time travel, radiation, complex computing, AI, things that we don't understand that we would be confronted with if we were to either create them ourselves or be exposed to a civilization that has created them and is so far ahead it looks like magic. My animals made me listen to my own whining. Lady Magora. Magora! Jinxie boy! I have a one-page thing I'm going to dump into chat for you all. Just some fun. It's a few paragraphs. Ooh, let me see. I'll admit, when I received the official induction letter, I was somewhat disappointed. The ceremony where I was brought to the Magician's Guild, wasn't going to be held in some ancient castle or a remote part of England. It wouldn't be in a beautiful villa, Victorian mansion, or any other grandiose location either, as I'd imagined. It would either happen in the wilderness, somewhere under some moonlight with a lot of chanting. It wouldn't even happen out in the wilderness, somewhere under moonlight with a lot of chanting. The sign outside the doors to the reception hall said private event. Ooh, a woman with blonde hair, arranged in a loose braid, sat in a chair nearby, reading a book, or rather, pretending to read it. I saw the white tie she wore under her business suit, and knew she was actually watching the door, possibly the entire room. White ties could do that sort of thing. I love this, Brian. Lady McGraw with the 3-stream streak! You coming across and streaking? Did you lose it? It should be so much more. As I approached the door, I felt rather than saw her nod, and I pushed it open. If I didn't know better, I could have sworn I'd walked into some sort of company executives meeting. There was a long buffet table with catered food and a collection of round tables scattered all over the room, each with 12 seats to a table. I want to know this universe, Brian. Except for my fave from Cuddles. Absolutely, Jinx. There isn't anything significant about the number 12, magically speaking. Just so you know. In fact, you should probably just forget everything you think you know about magic. Maybe you've picked up some new age Wicca book where they spell it with a K recently, or done a deep dive into one of the more obscure texts that don't get advertised. Or maybe you and your pagan friends like to go out into the woods and chant while burning sage or incense. Maybe you sit in circles and pass an energy ball around. Let me tell you, here and now, none of that is magic. The real stuff doesn't come with instruction manuals. The entire history of the guild is oral. Why? They weren't stupid enough to record what they knew in books. They didn't want their secrets to be picked up for anyone to use. The chief reason the guild didn't bother writing anything down is because magic, like all things, evolves and changes. Except for one key aspect. Screwing with the natural forces requires a sentient mind, and the guild keeps a solid eye on minds that can do it. Ooh, I like that a lot, Brian. Are you going to expand that into a bigger story? That's an excellent concept. I don't know, I hope so. Go for it, Brian. I know you were talking about not having enough time to write, but that's a really good concept. If you were to put a character into that, and to expand upon why they're there, why they have that knowledge, and maybe also the repression of skill, because you put that the guild keeps an eye on minds that can do it. Maybe they would be hiding how powerful they were. Neckties are like belts for the sorceress. Yes, the different color is the different skill level. Brainwave, I just come up with a good twist for Blacklight. Hell yeah, Jinx! Alright, I'm gonna create an artifact. Let me start the timer for us. Are we ready to sprint? Also a different type of magic. Oh, I like that one. Yep, that's interesting. I'm into it, right? Like, guys, I'm into it too. I think that's a really good concept. So I missed a key one. Oh no! Alright, are we ready to start? I am ready to start. Yeah, I've got 6 sprints on the timer. Depending on how much writing is flowing through me, I may cut it at 5. We'll see. Where there's the break between the moonlight with a lot of chanting. After that was supposed to be this. My induction ceremony was to take place at the local Holiday Inn. That's funny. I accidentally got it during the copy pasting. No, I like that. It brings the sort of like, it's almost like a seminar. And I like that. Did you manage to have a look at what I sent you before Christmas? No worries, I just thought I'd ask. I am half a page away from sending it to you. It is almost completely done, but I want to do a summary. I'm ready to sleep. I'll do my writing when I wake up, hopefully.
again. March on, my friends. Go and make some mistakes. You live and you learn. And where the chips fall, it's not your concern. Like the wind gonna breeze, fires will burn. Just let the gears, my friend. Oh, just let the gears, my friend. Let 'em turn.
孩子别怕荆棘，试着找就能寻到珍贵。你看这个天黑，烟火有多美。 静地忘掉。我这样就很好。
I can hear the sound of a heartbeat before it goes out. Won't never leave my memory of bloodshed all around. I can see a tear on my father's face before it falls out. Oh, my enemy, how could I have ever let you down? When all these trees saw us grow, cut our teeth and make our bones right here. We play with shields made of stone, share our dreams and sit our thrones. Be still, 'cause I see smoke up ahead and I got steel in my hands. Return like warriors, I swear that we'll find glory up ahead. Tell me, where is my home? I don't recognize the faces anymore. Oh, where is my friend? The one I've known since I was only just a kid. I think it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, is it time to say goodbye? Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye,
Can I do the right thing for the wrong reason? Is it bad that I'm making friends with my demons and living by a couple deadly sins just to make sure I finish what you began? And I ain't afraid to lose a life for 10 if it means that I get the win in the end. So I'ma do this on my own, step into the danger zone, pull the pin and watch it blow. I would rather die alone. I would rather die alone. Oh, I would rather die.
we're at a 5-minute break. How is everyone doing? I am eating some food. And I think that I can essentially bullshit my way through this world building if I were to try and make it that the individuals who can shapeshift have a slightly different atom pattern, which allows them to harness the energy from DNA. Not DNA, radiation, and it doesn't damage their DNA. I mean, yes, Lady Magora, but also when she's fighting in the clubs. Pale, no, that's just what I think about before I go to sleep. This song breaks me, right? It's so sad. I am food coma. Is that good? Mm-hmm. That's what I think. Is there such a thing as an atom? Is there an atom not affected by radiation? Many exist with stable isotopes. Okay. Oh, there's an organism example. It's a bacteria. One of the most radiation-resistant organisms known. Wow. Anyway, we're on our break. I should stop looking it up. It's kind of fascinating, though. I'm trying to make it work so that with a sufficient amount of energy, an organism can change form, which is essentially shape-shifting. But I want to make it so that there's... It's kind of like Attack on Titan with all the steam. It has to be almost an explosion of energy in order for it to work. Iron is the most nuclear stable element. Takes energy for fission or fusion for iron. I'm going to write that down. Because there's something about iron for... Is it iron for fairies and silver for werewolves? Yes, Bug. Yes, you should. I've read about that pale. It's fascinating. I just came back. How is everybody? We're good. I'm eating some food and I'm trying to design an artifact which is going to go in one of my stories. The arcane element is that it will cause some sort of shapeshift, and I'm trying to make that work with some level of science. Even if I brush over it and I just say, yes, it changes you on an atomic level and activates some of your junk DNA. Like, I'm fine with saying that. But I'm looking into it a little bit. If you didn't know, I studied advanced molecular techniques and molecular biology at university. Now just substitute energy for magic, exactly. And iron is in our blood, it's already there, you're right. That's what, Brian, that's an excellent point, and that's what pointed me to radiation. Because that is a naturally occurring energy. I also want to look into magnetism. Cold iron for fairies. Inexplicable energy. I didn't. That's cool. It was cool. It was cool to research it. I did my dissertation on the expression of oil-producing genes in the leaves of trees infected with fungal disease. So like a temporary, maybe voluntary mutilation. Exactly. That's exactly the kind of thing. And of course, she's in medieval times, so all she will see is magic. Thank you, Brian. Yeah, I got a Master of Science It sits on my wall. I haven't done anything with it, but it was an interesting thing to prove that I could do. For science! Exactly. Right, we're in our second sprint. Good luck, everyone. I will be in text chat. See you very soon. I wish you the best of luck with everything that you're doing, even if you're just napping. Looking at you, Black Iris. See you in a bit.
What could have been?
Taste what I feel from grace. Wanna taste what I feel from grace. Run away from the face. Let's race if you wanna taste. You wanna mess around, I'm gonna take you down, down, down. Wanna slide and turn, such a lovely way to burn, burn, burn. I never felt like this before. I think I might just want some more. I never felt like this before. I think I might just slide. You can own that if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good, good, good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little bad that make you feel alive. The kind of feeling that maybe you should, good, good. Dirty little animals. It makes your blood run hot. It makes your spit taste sweet. It makes you feel more alive than you have ever been. Why would you die up there when you can live underneath? Dirty little animals. Beautiful cannibals. Slide, you can own that if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good, good, good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little bad that make you feel alive. The kind of feeling that maybe you should, good, good. Dirty little animals. The kind of bad that make you feel good, good, good. Arcane, never saying give it look, good luck. But when you go under, you will never go back up. Novocaines, ever saying never going up. Cause when you go under, you will never go back up. Novocaines, ever saying never going up. Cause when you go under, you will never go back up.
What you say? Wanna find a place to play? Hey, hey, what you say? Wanna find a place to play?
Slide, you can own that if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of
is all I know.
I declare war on anybody standing in the way of what I dream for. How could you ignore the ones that are voiceless, scream from the poor? They only hear the score. I do it for the underground kings that don't need more. I'm kicking down your door. If I wonder why you got a pocket full of green for, it's all about the get back. It's hard to give back while the politicians kick back. They say I'm only brick rap. Well, that's the foundation of this mountain that I live at. I can get you kidnapped. These kids ain't playing with you, acting like you live rap. And all those little mishaps that only happen to you misfits, I'm here to fix that, yeah.
I told you not to play with the misfit toys. We running this game, getting sick of your noise. You started with a bag, but you misfit.
Rich get richer while the poor pickpocket. Swipe smacks well till the cops come knocking. Have or have not, being broke is not an option. Time after time when you gotta think for watches. When you the plug in the socket, and the powers that be can't stop it. So obnoxious, borderline toxic. Both sides go to war like a mosh pit. Now let me switch up the optics. Our neighborhoods held us hostage. Some nights we slept in our closets. Gunfights was outside the projects. So you can't blame me for nonsense. I'm here to collect deposits. All else defies the logic. My people need me beside them now.
I told you not to play with the misfit toys. We running this game, getting sick of your noise. You started with a bag, but you misfit toys.
Don't play with the misfits. Come play with the misfits. Don't play with the misfits. Come and play with the misfits.
I told you don't play with the misfits. Must be deaf, dumb, and blind, you a triplet. Don't you make me erase your existence. All by my lonely, need no assistance. Any disrespect gets met with the vengeance. Burn down gossip and hidden agendas. We set the tone for all to remember. You rewrite history, the greatest pretenders. You rewrite history, the greatest pretenders.
I told you not to play with the misfit toys. We running this game, getting sick of your noise. You started with a bag, but you misfit
Toys. Don't to any sea. Ooh, I'm deeper than any ocean, for eternity.
And after all, the rain will fall on us
but I'll keep moving on, proud and strong with you.
is a bubbling fountain that flows into the sea, deeper than any ocean, for eternity. I'm willing to die. Breaking mama heart, now she's starting to cry. Broken beer bottles that are starting to fly. I know my time is coming soon. 7 foot goon line up in the room, kicking up dust in the shadow of doom. Just at the flare, now I started to fume. I know my time is coming soon. That's when everything went wrong. That's when everything went wrong. I lay down to down, concrete floor. That's when everything went wrong.
All right, we're on a slightly longer break. I have been getting into some real science. I have managed to, I think, BS my way through the rapid change of DNA. That's fine. That works with the way that DNA polymerase works. That's fine. My issue now is going from how long it would take for those transcribed genes to express, which I don't mind skipping over, but how much energy that would take. And I'm trying to figure that out. Because theoretically, my character would either have to be irradiated, magnetized, or eat a hell of a lot. From an atom point of view. I'm trying to write a short story about two characters working together to search a void for artifacts, and sadly I already forgot the ending I planned. Oh no, Bug! I'm sure you'll work your way back to it. And continuing my story from yesterday, I edited it a bit, added a few more rants, a nod to the modern world, and how he's made it to Australia, aka the bin. Yes! BRB, I forgot to put the bins out. Go, go, go! I've been looking at it. Honestly, it's much better than my random new element triggers a mutation. To be honest, I was 18. No, it's the same sort of thing. So, for me, because I'm looking at genes, you would have to have a separate and faster transcription polymerase, which is what transcribes DNA. What's nice is there are bacteria. We go at a rate of a couple of hundred nucleotides per second during replication. Bacteria can exceed 700 nucleotides per second. And so let's say that the shapeshifters are exposed to some sort of bacteria that both gives them that polymerase and also gives them the ancestral DNA that they need to transform into something, whatever DNA that is. That works. I can make that work in a fiction. The issue now is the energy source. What's the energy source? Otherwise you would be changing your entire body. How many calories are in the human body? You'd be changing that in terms of, I guess there would need to be heat. There would need to be, like in Attack on Titan, there'd be steam. There would need to be a source of that. It couldn't just come from the person who's transforming. It needs to come from an external source. Or a source that they have absorbed, like radioactivity. In which case I need to make them some sort of resistant to radiation, otherwise they're all gonna die. So this is the sciencey way that I'm going through it. But all that the medieval woman who is going through this is going to know is that she picks up a bracelet, or a Viking. It's a Viking arm ring. She picks that up and she drinks water and then she turns into something. Maybe it could be that the first transformation went at the rate of a human polymerase, so it was a very painful, very slow transition. But then perhaps the polymerase over generations of humans, not generations of bacteria, but generations of humans, has developed to go much faster. That's a good idea, I'm going to write that down. What's interesting is that 90% of the DNA, if you want to shapeshift your character into another mammalian creature, 90% of the DNA is already there. That's what's interesting. Je retourne now. Beck, how are you doing? Trying to make this more sciencey or more magic-y or both. So I want to have it as a complete, like an arcane mystery. Like, it's just like in the Arcane TV show with the crystals, that they don't really know how the crystals work, but they refine them anyway. This is going to be them understanding something through scientific methods that is going to fuck them up. No, bam, do it, absolutely. And how fast is cancerous growth? That's a good shout. They can double in a day. Nix, hi! Holy moly! Hello, everyone. Hello, raiders. It also sounds like a recipe for the zombie apocalypse. It really does. Well, there has to be... apologies, Nix. There has to be some sort of other... There has to be some sort of other organism involved. A bacteria, or a virus, or a protozoa that has to be involved. Otherwise, there's no way to transcribe the DNA, because you cannot catch DNA from another organism. Nix, what we are doing today is trying to science our way through shape-shifting. I am trying to write a story with shape-shifting involved, a fictional story that has some genuine scientific backing. I actually studied genes at university, so this is very interesting to me. But hello, everyone. Hello, raiders. Welcome on in. Thank you so much for the party of 17. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of you. Hello. It is lovely to see you. Nix and friends are here for the party. Hello, hello, hello. It is so good to see you. I love this so much. I worry about boring you all. For science! Welcome and happy to be here. Hey, thank you for trusting me with your community. It's lovely to see you all. I have met some of you before. So welcome back in to some of you, and hello to those I haven't met. Hi. To keep up with all the streams open. Nix is amazing. They've been my go-to morning stream for 2 years. Absolutely, Brian. Tab consolidation. Suggest they bring the people. Oh, shucks. Well, hello, friends. Hello. Serena, it's lovely to see you. Nix, it's lovely to see you. EDS, it's lovely to see you. I can't see anyone else. If I've missed anyone, shout at me. But yeah, we're in our break at the moment. So we're going between the Pomo timer, 25-minute sprints. And our prompt today was to write something arcane related. So I have a couple of ideas, including the TV show as well. But eventually I took something like transformation, something arcane, something we don't understand, and I'm trying to rationalize it in a modern science way. And within the story there's 2 different times where it's pertinent, and one of them is in a medieval time. So obviously to a medieval person this will be magic, but hopefully to the modern person it will look more like science. The issue I'm coming up with now, so this transcription of the rapid transcription of DNA, the addition of DNA expression is possible. It's completely possible, but you have to have a virus, bacteria, protozoa infect whatever organism it is to add the DNA that's not there. Because you cannot, let's say you're trying to transform into an elephant, you can't look at the elephant and absorb its DNA. But if the elephant can catch a virus and then send the virus to you, then you have some sort of shared thing. So that's all possible. My issue is now energy. The energy it would take to rapidly transcribe DNA. Yeah, hello. Second time finding you in the wild. I love science and psychology, so this is a fantastic time for me to come in. This is good! Doesn't change the expression of the host DNA, it just makes their DNA ones that is expressed instead. I did think about parasitic, but because of the polymerase, I'm going to call it the polymerase nerf, because we don't have, our polymerase is slower than bacteria and viruses because we're bigger. So I want it to evolve over generations of humans. I want it to become a human thing that is caught from an exposure to bacteria in medieval times and sits in our junk DNA. Junk DNA is an actual thing. Don't look it up if you're scared of randomly sprouting wings. But we have a bunch of junk DNA that just sits there and is not expressed and is not read, but needs something to come out. So it could be a stress-based gene, it could be a chemical-based gene, it could be an enzyme-based gene, and they just sit there until they're activated, which is sort of how aging works. Appreciate you. I also have a question. Is shapeshifting mostly beneficial, or are there bad sides? Because it sounds like it's not going to be voluntary for some people. Aha, bug. Here's the thing. So there are, within this story, within this fictional universe, there are people who can transform in a healthy way, as in they transform to their animal, and then they transform back. Yes, it takes energy. You can only do it sort of once every couple of days, but you can't stay too long in the animal form, otherwise it starts to stick, because the replication of DNA is going over and over and over, and you start to become the animal. Think like Brave, when her mum starts to become the bear. And there is one character that I've written that gets stuck halfway between the transformed and the human, and he stays that way. And he is the one who changes the main character's mind on what it is to be a shapeshifter. I can randomly sprout a way to fly? Theoretically, yes, but we don't know what causes it to. Junk DNA is all of the DNA that it has cost us to get to humanity. So theoretically, it's everything. It's everything that has come before us. We could be carrying dinosaur DNA from mammalian ancestors. Search as junk DNA. Look it up, look it up, look it up! There's 15 days doubling of cells. Well, I looked it up. Apparently it can double in a couple of days. It's really cool. Well, cancer's not cool. Don't quote me on that. But it's really strange that the polymerase would keep going that fast. And explains why cancer is so dangerous. Because the polymerase is running away. Which comes into the theory of transformation, because the polymerase would be the thing that's reading the DNA to transform so quickly. Because once DNA is read, it turns into protein, which turns into amino acid, which turns into cells. And that's all got to happen instantaneously. That's energy, right? I'm going to have to irradiate them, magnetize them, or have them constantly eating bread. Mums are already bears, therefore no energy required. This is the most science I've scienced in a long time. This is the most, what I'd call theoretical science I've done in a long time. I did study, I studied a lot to do with genes, and I did my own extraction of DNA and RNA and study of polymerase and all of that. But now I'm really stretching the truth. But I'm doing it within what I hope is believable standards. So if it came from junk DNA combined with a DNA polymerase from a bacteria or a virus, that all works with the addition of energy. This is the mostly theoretical, luckily this is true. Have you ever done Writer History Roulette? I've not, it sounds cool. Radiation might be the easiest, carrying certain magic rocks. Well, the artifact that I've designed is a Viking arm ring with Skull and Hati, Sol and Mani. They have different names, but it's the wolf that chases the moon and the sun. And there's a ruby and a moonstone in their eyes. So the artifact could work like that. It doesn't necessarily fit into the story I've written, but Perhaps with a isotope that breaks down so slowly that it could be passed through generations. Yes, that would work. Get a group of writers, spin a wheel, and whoever it lands on has to bring up their recent search history for their project. Oh, mine would be a mess. Results are fun, I bet they are. Dibs out. Just did long-term radiation for my mutants. Yes, spam. What isotopes did you go for? Then that could be the father of alchemy. Refine the rocks to make it more potent. Yes. Yes. I hadn't thought of that. Because the Viking arm ring exists, but who made it? Who made it and how did they have the knowledge to make it? And what knowledge did they have of radiation at that point? Chicken. Might work out, but I forgot. I didn't understand physics class. Well, that is what we're going to look up in our next sprint. So I will find my way to BS through transformation. Thank you so much, Nyx, for that raid. We're going to go into focus mode for 25 minutes now before our next break. I will be active in text chat, but you will just hear music and see me writing, or in this case, looking up things on Google and trying not to let my brain explode. I wish you all luck with whatever projects you're doing, and I hope that things are working out really well for you. I made my own elements so there wouldn't be any rules. Well, I made my own bacteria so there wouldn't be any rules. We're bending. Recipes and how to sew, I love that. It's called unobtainium. Never gonna find it, Iam. That's so funny. Alright, let us go into focus mode and I will see you on the other side. Good luck, everyone!
Because summer will turn into fall, and you'll leave me. You're gone. You don't need me. Like the
funny till you have to choose who's dying first. I became the thing I feared, taking their lives in my hand. My innocence had consequences that I still don't understand. I was told that I was vital in the plan to save my life, so I promised mine in hopes I'd be the one holding the knife. Our bodies were the vehicle, transporters of the soul. I was young and bold and stupid in a 6-foot self-dug hole. Was I the only one to question anything they said? I take it back, I'll follow till I fly, till I'm dead. My immortal evolutionary traits are still intact. I am unapologetic for the sympathy I lacked. I left my body back in California cause I'm weak. Overdosed on phenobarbital, it's part of my mystique. So in 97 I gave up my future, I'd been raised to reject my human nature in the hopes that I'd be praised. I thought SOS meant save our souls, instead it meant jack shit. Cause nobody came to help me when I told myself I quit. I trusted blindly, was it wrong for me to latch on tight? Cause I didn't realize nettles stung and apples weren't all white. Ignorance is bliss and maybe ignorance is fate. Cause I didn't deserve heaven but I'm standing at its gate. Was I the only one to question anything they said? I take it back, I'll follow till I fly.
addiction. De toi je devrais m'éloigner, mais comme dit le dicton, plutôt qu'être seul, mieux vaut être mal accompagné. Tu sais ce qu'on dit, sois près de tes amis les plus chers, mais aussi
Encore plus près de tes adversaires.
mais ma meilleure ennemie c'est toi. Fuis-moi, le pire c'est toi et moi. Mais ma meilleure ennemie c'est toi. Fuis-moi, le pire c'est toi et moi.
Pourquoi ton prénom disassociate. I just wanna be a good passenger. I'm feeling fantastic. I'm fucking fantastic. I wanna get drunk and watch American classics. Drink champagne out of plastic. You want someone crazy like me, baby. I'm feeling amazing. I'm fucking amazing. I'm high as a kite. Sat here picturing you naked. You just have to take it. If you want someone crazy like me, baby. And I'm thinking of you. Well, you're down there being a dog. It's either a curse or a blessing every time that you call. You believe that I'm gonna pay. Help me disassociate. I just wanna be a good passenger. I'm feeling fantastic. I'm fucking fantastic. I wanna get drunk and watch American classics.
Hello, hello. Okay, I think I'm there. I think I'm there. You get to read The Innocent Cipher, 3-page short story about a kid who can read a book that adults can't as they've lost their innocent imagination, Peter Pan style. That's so cool. My fingers are covered in medicine and my pencil is slipping away, but I can't wash my hand and it doesn't want to wipe off. Oh god, bug. You're stuck. Innocent Cipher 1 I wrote. Oh, you wrote it. Oh, sweet. Okay, I think I'm there. So, if you remember me talking about bacteria, if I were to make that a magnetobacterial bacteria, a real thing, by the way, that lives in water, and I sort of BS my way through that the magneto aspect of that bacteria could interact with the electromagnetism that humans naturally have. And that could create a feedback loop, creating heat, which would create the energy needed to justify rapid shapeshifting, right? We talk about bacteria. We're making a periodic table about your magic. Of course we remember. Okay. This is the thing. This is the full explanation. That would be... Okay. There's a bunch of maths in here that's not been added up and would not add up. Nice, that's believable. But this is the end pitch. But the rapid change in a magnetic field from brain waves, which is a true humans can do that. It's measured using magnetoencephalography. Causes the magnetobacterial bacteria DNA integrated into the human body over generations to release huge levels of polymerase stimulating enzymes. This is all theoretically possible, and activates horizontal gene transferred genes from mass infection of mammals over many years with this bacteria. This causes rapid cell growth and multi-system, multi-organ change, coming at the cost of energy and heat, which is supplemented by electromagnetic charge and the evaporation of some cells. That would be fat cells, because they are the ones with the most water, leading to a steam cloud and energy loss in the human. So it's not something that they would be able to do all the time. But that would be technically a scientific explanation, allowing people to turn into something else. And I'm going to leave it there, because if I go any deeper, and if I go into the actual maths of it, I'm just going to... This is going to be an offhand comment in this story, that's the thing. And so I'm writing out the full story of it. Limits are always great in stories. Exactly. It can't be that they're changing so rapid that their body begins to waste. Or I guess they start losing... What happens when a human is so wasted? They would lose their hair, they would lose their teeth. There'd be consequences, yeah. It means I'm a walking battery! Technically, yes. If I was looking it up, and we do have magnetic fields in our heart and in our brain. So there's something about that, the heart and the brain, those being the essential systems of life. And across all mammals, there's a heart and a brain. So there are links in it that make me happy. Shrivel up and die, for real. But now you have to figure out how to dumb it down for the story. I'm going to have it, so the whole thing is that this medieval woman finds a Viking arm ring It's very ornate. This is the artifact. This is the arcane aspect to it. She finds it in a pool of water. She digs it out, she wears it, and she starts to transform into some sort of animal. I'm trying to keep most of the story a secret. But she transforms into some sort of animal. And she believes that it is this arm ring that is causing that. But it's not. It's the water that she fished it out of that had the electrobacteria. And the electrobacteria would then not live, but the DNA would then be stored in her junk DNA, which genuinely happens. We have bacteria that caused the bubonic plague. The same genetic sequences sat in our junk DNA, and it proves that we survived the bubonic plague. That is an actual scientific thing that happens. So it would sit in her junk DNA, and then it would be reactivated when she came into some sort of electromagnetic field. And I'm going to BS my way through that and say that it's her own electromagnetic field as enhanced by the bacterial's traits. Right? That would do that. Yeah, for wasting away. I'm sorry, I have a lot of cancer in my neighborhood, so I know a lot about wasting and stuff. No, absolutely. And it could be, sorry, I'm going to keep talking through the focus bit. It could be that it has a parallel with that concept of pushing the body unnaturally hard with unnatural sources, like cancer treatment. It's poison. And radiation, it's poison. It starts to... There's so much in the body, and there's not enough human body left to fight it. Drawing for every story, you just write a little one and start to practice drawing. And this is what I'm hoping to do in the 3rd phase of this year. You read Project Hail Mary. It's about microorganisms killing the sun. Oh, that's cool. Same dude who wrote The Martian. I love The Martian. Sounds good enough for me. I think that I'm willing to settle there. My science brain wants me to do the actual physical magnetic potential and what it would do with the atoms and things like that, but it's a fictional story. It doesn't have to be real, but I want the particular modern day humans who are trying to explain this and justify what they're doing, because they're the bad guys. They're trying to justify what they're doing. They're going to justify it through science. And so I do need to think about how they are going to present it to the main character. And that is how they're going to present it to the main character. I may add a sci-fi element. Maybe the bacteria came from a meteorite, like mushrooms did. You know, mushrooms came from space. Maybe the bacteria is a little bit otherworldly. Add a little bit more arcane into it. But this in general... I'm going to write out the stages of it. It starts with the human thinking, and then the human gets very hot very quick, and then the DNA is triggered, and then essentially the human evaporates, and you're left with a brain and a brainstem, which then grows its own animal body around it. That's how this is going to work. Anyway, back to focus mode. Good luck, everyone. I am going to be active in text chat, but you will hear the audio. Let me know if Spotify goes off the rails, because I have it quite quiet in my headphones. I wish you luck with all of your projects. This is what sprint is it? 4 out of 6. I did say I might only do 5 today, but it depends how into this I get. I expect when I finished writing this up, I'm going to be absolutely exhausted about all the theoretical and BS science that I have looked through today. So we'll see what happens, but I'll see you all soon. Good luck, everyone.
And I'm thinking of you. Well, I'm up here higher than God, feeling strange about the way we left things in the back of the car. fantastic. I'm fucking fantastic. I wanna get drunk and watch American classics. Drink champagne out of plastic. Don't you want someone crazy like me, baby? I'm feeling amazing. I'm fucking amazing. I'm high as a kite. Set here picturing you naked. You just have to take it. If you want someone crazy like me, baby, I'll be thinking about you while you're down there being a doll. It's either a curse or a blessing every time that you call. You believe that I'm in pain, help me disassociate. I just wanna be a good passenger. Feeling fantastic, I'm fucking fantastic. I wanna get drunk and watch American classics. Drink champagne out of plastic. Don't you want someone crazy like me, baby? Crazy like me. I'm feeling amazing. I'm fucking amazing. I'm high as a kite. Set here picturing you naked. You just have to take it. If you want someone crazy like me, baby. And I'm thinking of you. Well, I'm up here higher than God.
My body's on the line now. I can't fight this time now. I can feel the light shine on my face. Did I disappoint you? Will they still let me over if I cross the line? Take a seat, but I'd rather you not be here for what could be my final form. Stay your pretty eyes on course. Keep the memories of who I was before. So stay with me because my body's on the line now. I can't fight this time now. I can feel the light shine on my face. Did I disappoint you? Will they still let me over if I cross the line? Honestly, I thought I was fully prepared for the threshold in store. Stay your pretty eyes on course. I guess I never really faced my fears before. So stay with me because my body's on the line now.
feeling fantastic. I'm fucking fantastic. I wanna be drunk and watch American classics. Drink champagne out of plastic. Don't you want someone crazy like me, babe? Crazy like me. I'm feeling amazing. I'm fucking amazing. I'm high as a kite. It's like a picture in you naked. You just have to take it. If you want someone crazy like me, babe.
like to spend my vacation at the library!
Why would you let this voice set in your head? It is meant to destroy you. You summon storms, you play with nature. Now watch it hurt you. Why would you want to shape the world in your hands? You will never make it through. Catch the fire burning out your soul. Just make it die, or you will turn it all to ashes and blood. To ashes and blood. You waste your life to gain power. You shift to game rules. How does it feel to reach the line that no one ever got to cross? Does it make you a god now? Every sin will be forgiven if you lay down your weapons to the ground. Catch the fire burning out your soul. Just make it die, or you will fall. Catch the fire burning out your soul. Just make it die, or you will turn it all to ashes and blood. To ashes and blood. To ashes and blood. To ashes and blood. To ashes and blood.
I've held on for as long as I can, for the ones that I had to defend. I've been strong every day of my life. If she wants, death could take me this time. This world is a wasteland where nothing can grow. I used to have strength, but I ran out of hope. I know it's my fault that I'm here all alone. This world is a wasteland. Please let me go, 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 go. If I could just lay my head down and rest, if there was nothing to
Hello. We are at a slightly long break. I have been writing. I did a little sketch of the actual artifact as well, but I'm writing how this would fit into my story, and I actually think it fits rather well. There's a nice little undercurrent of misinformation, religion, science, humanity making mistakes, invasion, and the belief in something. I'm thinking maybe that there's this meteorite material, and it's a misinformation that they believe that the meteorite material is the core of the shape-shifting, and maybe that they're all after the meteorite, but nobody's thinking about the pool of water that the meteorite has sat in, and that has got a bunch of this bacteria and is the source of the bacteria. Let me have a think about that. And I'm wondering down here, is this something that I want the characters to discover during, put a big question mark here, do I want them to discover this during the events that I'm writing about, or do I want this all to be discovered beforehand? And maybe have a live version of the bacteria living within them. That maybe the longer they stay in the shapeshift form. I don't want to make zombies, but it's kind of feeling zombies. Makes my brain want to science. This is good. Science is good. Because obviously I have this explanation, but the main character, the only thing that the main character is going to know is about the people transforming around her, and eventually her transforming as well, and what that feels like as a human. Do you enjoy mysteries coming to life as a B plot in the story? That's what I feel like. I don't think it's an A plot. I think it's a B plot, and I think maybe it causes an identity crisis in somebody who is a villain, but maybe becomes a hero. Maybe. Or it could even mean that at the end it makes me want to introduce a third villain, which is fine because this story is told in 3 parts. So there'd be space for 3 villains. But I want the first villain to become a hero in the 3rd part. And I think that the scientific rationalization of her religion could do that. I'm thinking very deep right now, and I really don't need to. Get the frick out of my way. So long, sucker. Alright, anyway. That's something I can read through and I can refine as I go through. But we have a scientific justification for shapeshifting. We have an artifact and a religion and a 100-year-old culture around this artifact. And the stories around it. And then the actual scientific cause, which is bacteria. Could mean a lot of things, right, Bam? I'm interested. The thing is, I've not fully fleshed out. I fully fleshed out a few characters for this, but I've not fleshed out that part 1 villain. I don't actually really know what's driving her. There's a false villain in the 2nd part, where you think he's a villain, but he's really not. He's just incredibly melancholic. He's bored. the thinking of words and ideas for today, but I feel my brain try to say I'm not doing enough, which is fair. I did some thinking and not much of it. Don't push, Bug. Don't push. You'll go towards burnout. Burnout makes people say it. Whoa. This is the first time I've worked on the Wolf Project on stream. I know I'm keeping a lot of it fairly close to my chest. I hope one day you'll be able to read it. So few spoons, your name is a vibe. Even a little progress is progress, and all progress is good progress. Exactly. Even if it's a couple of words that you didn't have yesterday, that's a couple of words you didn't have. Forget about rivals, by the way. Great stuff to use in things like this. Rivals? Do you mean marbles rivals? Yes, you streams from New Zealand. Well. No fake rivals? What do you mean? Do you mean like rivalry? Which would be interesting because the main villain tries to turn the main character against the guy who isn't a villain. He's painted as a villain. He's so apathetic, this guy. He's so bored. Just want to beat the main characters. Yes! Yes, and it becomes an obsession to get one over them. I could see myself writing the primary villain that way, but not the secondary villain that way. Oh, sorry, I had to mute the mic to cough. Yeah. There's a rivalry, but it's not... I think one would move against the other, but the other one wouldn't move against the first one. He's too... It's not that he's sensible, and it's not that he has anything to lose. He can't be bothered. He can't be bothered. He's so hard to describe. He's bored in the short term, but in the long term, he's playing a big game. And he sees all of the little movements and nuances and all of the little things that are happening around him as so inconsequential. And is therefore bored by them. Whereas the other one is very detail oriented and wants to examine everything. And I think that her discovery, if I were to write this into the story and have it as a discovery, then her discovery of the bacteria and how the shapeshifting fully works it would be her story. It wouldn't be his. He'd be so bored. He doesn't care why he can shapeshift. He doesn't care how it works. But yeah, I like that. I also wanted to write a bit completely separate to this story today, or to this lore that I'm doing for the Wolf Project. I would like to write a little bit on Aggie and I maybe want to... I thought about having these scrolls for Aggie and I that Joe discovers that are it's not a scientific explanation. There will be no scientific explanation in Aggie and I because Joe is just a child. But the villain is trying to transfer that, but he doesn't have a clue what he's doing either, so I don't think he will understand the science either. He's a bit of a Frankenstein. He's just sort of, let's cut them up and see what happens. So I won't go into any detail in Agunai, but I will have the main character discover some sort of scroll, some sort of lost knowledge, some sort of arcane artifact is some way that helps them come to terms with it. I think I'll do one more sprint because I am getting pretty tired. I know we'll be cutting off before the final sprint, but I feel like that's reasonable for today because I've also done the spidergram and gone through the prompt with you all. So we'll do one more sprint of the 25 minutes and I will write some stuff for Aggie and I think. Aggie and I've turned into a book format. Let me get it open on my laptop. I'm not sure how big Aggie and I is going to get, but I have decided not to shelve it. I may make it into a art venture. I may make it into a different medium entirely, but I'm going to write the entire thing as an attempt at a book. It's going to be a short book, but it will be a book nonetheless. And this is my first attempt at this, so. In other works? Me going through my filing system right now. Aggie and I master file. That sounds promising. Are we stretching? Alright, let's stretch. Stretch up to. Oh, that's a good one. Thank you, bud. Don't forget to stretch. Don't forget to stand up. Writers don't stand up enough. Oh my god, I've written a lot more of Aggie and I than I thought I had. I'm 6,800 words into this thing. Am I? How far have I written? Yeah, I've only written to when they're going to the rattlesnake. I suppose I have been developing it for a couple of years, so it would make sense, but I had a lot more than I thought there was there. Who knew? Yeah, I'll write something, because I don't want Aggie and I to feel clinical, I want it to feel magical. So I want there to be some scrolls, some artifacts, some old dragon scales maybe that are preserved, some maybe scrolls written on dragonhide. How cool would that be? Yeah, I want it to feel a bit more magical. We've been going for a while. I thought we needed that. We do. We've been going for 3 hours and 12 minutes. I sometimes make Writing Club 4 hours, for anyone who's unaware. But my general streams tend to be 3 hours. And I'm going for a middle ground this time because I'm going for another 25 minutes. So we'll be at 3:37 by then. And then we'll find someone to raid and say goodbye for the now. But it has felt like a lot just because there's been a lot of science involved. Surprisingly, my brain doesn't feel like it's going to explode. I think that's because I BS'd my way through a lot of the maths. And also, I know about polymerase chains and DNA and RNA and junk DNA and things. So it felt like just doing a piece of uni. Accidentally put the watch without audio badge on. That's okay. I did not notice it. That is my bad. I should have typed a reply. But yeah, we'll call this sprint our final sprint, even though it says we've got another one after this. Because we won't push. We won't push ourselves into exhaustion. What sort of thing would Joe discover? I have this vision of Wan Shi Tong's library from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Because Aggie and I are set in the fictional desert of Banali, which I've made up. And dragons burrow during the night. I want to maybe say that there is a library within a fossilized dragon's body. How I would describe that, I don't know. But maybe a dragon and his rider decided to bury themselves as deep as they could in the sand to try and preserve as much knowledge as they could. Fossilizing themselves. That's an idea to run with, anyway. Oh. Alright, here we go. Our final sprint. Good luck, everyone. Wrap up everything. Do not forget to save. Do not forget to drink water. Do not forget to stand up. I wish you the best of luck with your projects. And I am going to write some more lore on this story. I know it's been a little bit weird because I've written this. I've written several parts of different stories rather than just writing an arcane fanfiction, which was the first option. So it's been a little bit weird, but I wish you all the best of luck with your works. I'll be active in text chat, but you will hear the music. See you in a bit.
I wake up to the sounds of the silence that allows for my mind to run around with my ear up to the ground. I'm searching to behold the stories that I told when my back is to the world that was smiling when I turned.
Go spin the wheel and see where it lands. Join in the circus, stay for a dance. And right when the war quiets down, strike up the band. Keep marching on, my friends, and do what you can. Wait till your brothers and your sisters see where you've been. And if you love the journey more than the end, go ahead, just turn that hourglass around and count to 10. This ain't goodbye no more. It just began. March on, my friends. Oh,
thy thrones be still. 'Cause I see smoke up ahead, and I got steel in my hands. Return like warriors, I swear that we'll find glory up ahead. Tell me, where is my home? I don't recognize the faces anymore. No, where is my friend? The one I've known since I was only just a kid. I think it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, it's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Oh, is it time to say goodbye? Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, goodbye. Goodbye, I am the monster you created. You ripped out all my parts. And worst of all, for me to live, I gotta kill the part of me that saw. And I needed you more. I hope you know we had everything. And you broke me and left these pieces. I want you to hurt like you hurt me today. And I want you to lose like I lose when I play what could have been. What could have been. Why don't you love who I am? What we could have been. I am your ghost, a fallen angel. You ripped out all my parts. I couldn't care what invention you made me, 'cause I was meant to be yours.
back up. Never came, ever same, never going up. Cause when you go under, you will never go back up. Never came, ever same, never going up. Cause when you go under, you will never go back up.
Hey, what you say? Wanna find a place to play? Hey, hey, what you say? Wanna find a place to play?
Slide, shake your bones up if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little death that make you feel alive. The kind of spin that really you should. Slide, shake your bones up if you wanna ride. Throw your head back, make you feel alive. The kind of bad that make you feel good. The kind of wrong that make you feel right. The little death that make you feel alive. The kind of spin that really you should.
I was raised by wolves. I was born to lead, and I starve till there's no more mouth to feed. There's a hand on my throat and a blade at my feet, but the weight of the world won't bend my knees. Broken bones, battle scars, I've seen the bloodshed carved in stone. When it's my sword, they won't forget. No war, no peace, till I lead them all. Lead me with my demons, hear my voice call. No fears or sorrows underneath these bones, just blood, sweat and tears is all I know. I can use who I want, and I taste what I please. In this world, I get all my fantasies. There's a hand on my throat, and a child at my face, but the weight of the world won't bend my knees. No war, no peace, till I lead them all. Lead me with my demons, hear my voice call. No fears or sorrows underneath these bones, just blood, sweat and tears is all I know. It's all I know. Don't wash my spirit, don't cleanse my soul. It can't break my courage, and I won't fall. 'Cause that's all I know. No war, no peace, till I lead them all. Lead me with my demons, hear my voice call. No fears or sorrows underneath these bones, just blood, sweat and tears is all I know.
underground kings that'll need more. I'm kicking down your door. If I wonder why you got a pocket full of green for, it's all about the get back. It's hard to give back while the politicians kick back. They say I'm only brick rap. Well, that's the foundation of this mountain that I live at. I can get you kidnapped. These kids ain't playing with you, acting like you live rap. And all those little mishaps that only happen to you misfits, I'm here to fix that. Yeah. Rich get richer while the poor pickpocket. Swipe smacks well till the cops come knocking. Have or have not, being broke is not an option. Time after time when you gotta think for watches. When you the plug in the socket, and the powers that be can't stop it. So obnoxious, borderline toxic. Both sides go to war like a mosh pit. Now let me switch up the optics. Our neighborhoods held us hostage.
Hello, hello. That is it for today. We are done. How did that feel? This pen doesn't really work.
I'm here to collect deposits. All else defies the logic. My people need me beside them now.
I'm gonna make a separate place in my file. You know the big file. Bam, I'm good, I'm sleepy. Oh, well, I'm glad you're good. And feel free to go sleep, Bam. You need your leap. Remember the big file? This be our big file. So, as this is... Sorry, hit the camera. As this is our January creation here, I'm going to pop the spidergram into the... I'm going to pop the spidergram into the... You know what? I'm going to pop it all in there. I'm going to pop everything that we've done today in there, but then I'm going to make a note that we did work on the Wolf Project and Aggie and I. There we go. So just so I know that they're there, under the thing that is arcane, I'm also going to put my book in there. I'm also asleep a bit. It's 2 AM, but it was worth it. I enjoyed it. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad it was worth it. There we are, all files. Hell yeah! We love filing. All right, let me catch up with chat real quick. Making slow, steady progress. Oh, I'm glad to hear that. So few spoons, especially considering you have so few spoons. Building my Ko-Fi up for services I will sell, and I'll post and self-promo the link when done with everything. I was literally about to say, please put that in Discord. Please, 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 please put that in Discord. So excited for this chapter of life. 2026 is going to be good for you, Tay. And if it isn't, I will make it good for you. Because you deserve some goodness. I love your name. I love the name too. Right. Let me go onto here. Sorry about the overlaid audio. And we'll go and find someone to raid, I think. We'll go and share the raid love, considering that we ourselves were raided. Let's see who's on. See who's on. What do you mean? I'm so innocent for this. I'm a stone cold top. Actually, let me have a look. Let's see if we can meet someone new. Okay, we're gonna go raid someone called Pasta Girl. I'm not sure what Pasta Girl is like, therefore I take no responsibility for the pastory behaviour you may be exposed to. But she's tagged English, neurodivergent, LGBTQ friendly, cozy, vibing with chat, and she is streaming, writing, and reading. So we're gonna swing on by. Oh, sorry. Sorry, you might have heard her in advance. She seems like a nice person, so we will go and raid her. Can I get? Pasta Girl is talking passionately about something. Oh, she's reading something. Okay, I thought she was having a rant. Okay, let's go and raid this new person. And if you want to drop a message that says, hang on. That says this, then please do. But if you don't have the emotes, feel free to replace my emotes with something that says raid or something that just you find cool. Just whatever you like. So, I have some thank yous. Thank you for chatting, for lurking, for being here, for absolutely everything in between. Thank you so much for some of the blurts and biddies that I was in receipt of today. I'll say an extra thank you for yesterday for all the gift subs. That was incredibly kind. And thank you all for coming with me on this sciencey, fictiony, arcane journey today. Next week the prompt will be the same, and I will probably continue to work on those projects, both the Wolf Project and Aggie and I. So feel free to tune in at the library. Thank you for joining us at the library. It's lovely to have you. And we are going to head on out to Pasta Girl. It was fun. Thank you for streaming. Thank you, Bam. Let's go meet Pasta Girl. Ready? 3, 2, 1.